Hello everyone. In this lecture I am going to explain line by line the famous poem, Modern Love by Keats. But if you are new to my channel, then please like the video and subscribe the channel. Basically, before I start it, let me tell you the background and theme of it, then it will be a piece of cake for you. Actually, this is a poem that talks about how love in modern times has become fake and shallow. Instead of being deep, meaningful, and emotional, love is now more about looks, fashion, and showing off. Keats criticizes how young people treat love like a game or a fancy dress-up, pretending to be like famous lovers such as Cleopatra and Antony, but without real feeling or sacrifice. He shows that true love has become rare, and people are more interested in drama and appearance than real connection. The theme of the poem is the emptiness and artificial nature of modern love. Keats wrote it to show his disappointment with how society has turned something as beautiful as love into something silly and unreal. Let's start it line by line. And what is love? It is a doll dressed up. In this opening line, the poet asks a question: what is love? Then he answers it by saying that love is like a doll that's been dressed up. This means that love looks beautiful from the outside, but it may not have much depth or real meaning inside. Just like a doll, which looks lovely but is not alive or real. Keats is saying that love is something that people decorate or present nicely. It is made to look pretty and sweet, but it might not have true emotions or seriousness behind it. It's like love is only for show, for idleness to cosset, nurse, and dandle. Now the poet adds that this doll of love is something that lazy or bored people take care of. The word idleness means having nothing to do, and the words cosset, nurse, and dandle all mean to pamper or cuddle something in a gentle way, like a child or toy. Keats is saying that love is just something for people to play with when they are bored. They treat love like a baby, giving it too much attention even though it may not deserve it. They don't love because it's real, they do it because they have free time. In other words, you can say that he says love is used as a way to waste time. People cuddle it, spoil it, and play with it not because it is special, but because they are idle and have nothing better to do. A thing of soft misnomers so divine. Here in this line, the poet is saying that love is described using soft and sweet words that aren't actually true. A misnomer means calling something by the wrong name. So soft misnomers means that people use sweet but incorrect words to describe love. And they call it divine, which means godlike or perfect. He believes that love is praised too much. People say it is beautiful, holy, or magical, even if it is not. They give it lovely names that make it seem better than it really is. In short, Keats is saying that love is not always as beautiful as people describe it. People use wrong but sweet words to make love sound more special than it really is. That silly youth doth think to make itself. In this line, Keats says that foolish young people believe that love makes them better or more important. The word silly means foolish or immature, and youth refers to young people. They think that by loving, they become more noble or great. He is showing how young lovers believe that love will make them special. They want to feel important or divine, and they think love will help them achieve that. But Keats sees this as a silly belief. Basically, he is saying young people think love will improve them or make them greater. But this idea is just a fantasy. Divine by loving, and so goes on. The poet continues from the previous line. He says that because youth believe love makes them divine, they continue on with this idea. Goes on means they continue loving in this foolish way. Keats is showing how once people believe that love gives them value, they don't stop. They keep following love, thinking it makes them special or holy. He is saying that people don't stop to think. They just keep loving because they think it makes them greater, even when it doesn't really. Yawning and doting a whole summer long. Now Keats gives us a funny image. He says that these lovers spend the whole summer yawning and doting. Yawning shows they are lazy or bored, and doting means loving someone in an overly sweet or foolish way. He is showing that their love isn't exciting, it's just a way to pass time. They spend the days doing nothing, acting overly romantic, and wasting time with silly feelings. In very simple words you can say, he says people in love just spend the summer being lazy, dreamy, and overly sweet, but not doing anything useful or real. Till Mrs. Combe is made a pearl tiara. Here Keats is being playful. He says that love makes people imagine things. A simple hair comb used by a girl, whom he calls Miss, is seen as a pearl tiara, a royal crown. In love, normal things look grand and special. He is saying that lovers exaggerate. They think ordinary things are magical or royal just because of their feelings. A plain comb becomes something rich and beautiful in their imagination. It means that love makes people imagine too much. Simple things look special to someone who is in love, even when they are just ordinary. And common Wellingtons turn Romeo boots. Now he gives another funny image. Wellingtons are regular rain boots, but in the eyes of someone in love, they turn into Romeo boots, stylish shoes worn by the romantic hero Romeo. This shows how love makes people see magic where there is none. Even basic, practical things like boots are seen as romantic and dramatic. In simple words, you can say, Keats is saying that love changes how people see the world. Even regular clothes seem special and full of romance to them. Then Cleopatra lives at number 7. Here, Keats says that people in love imagine that their beloved is like Cleopatra, the famous queen of Egypt. But she's not living in a palace, she's living at house number 7, probably a simple home on an ordinary street. He's being sarcastic. He is showing how love makes people believe their partners are royal or magical, even if they're just regular people. He says love turns a normal woman into a queen in the eyes of the lover. They imagine too much and ignore reality. And Antony resides in Brunswick Square. This line completes the couple. Just like Cleopatra lives in house number 7, her lover Antony now lives in Brunswick Square, a real street in London. This means the lovers imagine they are great historical people, even though they're just modern-day folks. Keats is laughing at how love makes people feel like they are part of some grand love story, even if they are just average people living normal lives. Actually, he says that love makes people pretend. They think they're like Cleopatra and Antony, even though they are just living in regular houses and wearing regular clothes. Fools! If some passions high have warmed the world. In this line, Keats is now speaking strongly. He calls people fools, which shows he is frustrated or mocking. He says that even though there have been times when strong emotions or passions high have influenced or warmed the world, it doesn't mean that love should always be taken so seriously. He is talking about history. There have been great loves, like between famous queens and warriors, that have changed the world. But just because that happened once or twice doesn't mean that everyone should act like their love is the same. If queens and soldiers have played deep for hearts, Keats gives examples of those strong emotions from history. He says that queens and soldiers may have played deep for hearts, meaning they truly risked a lot for love, maybe their lives, kingdoms, or power. This is probably referring again to Antony and Cleopatra, or similar lovers from history who were powerful and made sacrifices for love. Their love was serious and intense. They gambled everything for it. It is no reason why such agonies. Here, Keats starts to argue that just because those powerful love stories happened, it's not a good reason for everyone else to feel such pain or act overly emotional in love. The word agonies means great suffering. He is saying that the pain and drama that come with love are not necessary for everyone. Most people are not queens or warriors, so why should they suffer the same way? In simple words, Keats says, just because some people had dramatic love stories doesn't mean you need to go through heartbreak or suffering too. Should be more common than the growth of weeds. This line continues the idea from the last one. Keats is now comparing love's suffering, or agonies, to weeds. He says that painful love has become more common than weeds, which grow everywhere. He is criticizing society. People are acting like dramatic love and heartbreak is normal, but he thinks it has become too common, like something wild and unwanted. Simply put, Keats is saying that heartbreak and drama in love happen way too often, more often than even weeds grow, and he finds it foolish. Fools! Make me whole again, that weighty pearl. Keats repeats the word, fools, to show he is still mocking or angry. He then gives a challenge. He says, make me whole again, that weighty pearl. This is a reference to the famous story where Cleopatra dissolved a very expensive pearl in vinegar and drank it, to show how rich and powerful she was. By saying this, he means, if you can bring back that priceless pearl, then I might believe your love is as great as Cleopatra's. He's using sarcasm to say that modern love isn't even close to those legendary stories. The Queen of Egypt melted, and I'll say. Keats continues from the last line. He repeats the story. Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt, melted the pearl and drank it. It was a symbol of her wealth and power, and also of her passion and drama and love. He is using this historical image to say, such things happened in extraordinary times with extraordinary people, not in today's boring and fake love stories. Actually, Keats is saying, that kind of love belonged to powerful people in history, not to everyday people pretending their love is just as deep. That ye may love in spite of beaver hats. This is the final line of the poem and ends with humor. Beaver hats were fancy, fashionable hats worn by men in the 1800s. Keats is mocking modern love, saying that people are dressing up, pretending to be romantic or noble, but they are still ordinary. So he says, fine, if you can melt that pearl like Cleopatra, then I'll allow you to pretend to love, even while wearing your silly beaver hats. In simple words, you can say that Keats wants to says that, if your love is not as grand as the love of queens and warriors, stop acting like it is. You're not royalty, you're just regular people in funny clothes. I hope you have enjoyed this poem, but please don't forget like and subscription to my channel. Thank you.